Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to night 8 of Diddy or Didn't He here on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. I am Pugs Moran. Every night that Diddy sits in a Manhattan courtroom, I'm going to be sitting here in my Radio Misfits Dallas studio, breaking it all down for you. 8 days are in the books. Now, I should say that I've been talking about Judge Subramanian from the beginning. I'm a bit of a fan of this guy. It doesn't take a whole lot to get me to be a fan of a judge in a case like this. Here's pretty much what you need to do. Don't tolerate nonsense and keep on schedule. And he is doing a bang up job. And to that point, to his efforts of keeping this trial not spinning off the rails, there are going to be days like today. Today was a day where everything was kept on schedule. They closed out court a little bit earlier. Typically, they're going to be closing about 3 o'clock Eastern time. Today, they closed out a little bit earlier than that. Why? Because they didn't need to do more, because if they were to do more, it might have taken longer. And then pretty soon, they're about, you know what I'm saying? They did what they wanted to accomplish today, and they moved on. And I think there are going to be a number of days like that in this trial, as we're only in night 8 of what is expected to be 6, 7, possibly 8 weeks of trial. Hi, everybody. I am Pugs Moran. I do a show called The Rant every day right here on Radio Misfits. The Rant with me, Pugs Moran. It's talk radio. Talk radio the way I think talk radio should be done, which is without a political lens. I don't do politics. I do life. We talk about everything that's happening, from hot topics to celebrity trends to just lifestyle small talk. And yeah, of course, big news events and stuff like that we'll get into as well. But we are unlike any other talk radio show in that I don't care how you voted. You shouldn't care how I voted. I don't judge you that way. Let's just talk like normal people. We call it talk radio for normal Americans. It is The Rant every day in the afternoon, sometimes around noon, sometimes around 2. But like, follow, subscribe, Radio Misfits, or you can Google search me, Pugs Moran. Pugs Moran. You can like, follow, and subscribe to all that stuff as well. It's The Rant every day, Monday through Friday since 2021. That's right. Talk radio for normal Americans. All right. Let's get into what happened today in the courtroom. As I said, this is not going to be a long show. There was a lot of sort of dotting of I's, a lot of crossing of T's, and a whole lot of sidebars. Much of today's time in court was taken up with just sidebar arguments, to the point that we had Judge Subramanian cracking some jokes. Explain more about that in a minute. First and foremost, though, we did not get today what we were hoping to get. What we were hoping to get was testimony from Kid Cudi. Rapper, hip-hop star, and former boyfriend of Cassie. Kid Cudi was dating Cassie when Cassie was, with Diddy, and it became a big problem, and apparently Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car. Anyway, we're going to get into all of this stuff. This is where some of the federal bomb and arson charges come into this case. The Kid Cudi situation. He did not testify today. Apparently he had something going on. Apparently, the prosecution said that Kid Cudi, who was expected to be ready to testify today, has something that has come up. He will, in fact, testify tomorrow. So tomorrow on Thursday, the prosecution has promised us that we will hear from a guy that really hates Diddy, Kid Cudi. Now, I just want to float this. Out there. He is going to be a bombshell witness. He's going to be somebody who is, we're all interested in what he could possibly have to say. I'm a little bit concerned that he wasn't there today. I'm a little bit concerned that they said he had something going on. I mean, come on, it's Kid Cudi. What's Kid Cudi got going on that's more important than this? We haven't heard this guy's name in 10 years. And now all of a sudden we're talking about Kid Cudi again. And now what? Now what? He's got a gig? What, he couldn't show up for court today? All right, so we'll look forward to that tomorrow. And we'll also be watching to see if it actually happens. What else happened today? We learned this. This was weird. So today was a day for a lot of show and tell. The jury got to see a whole lot of pictures, a whole lot of images from inside Diddy's Florida house. This was due in part to Gerard Gannon. He's the special agent in charge who led the team of about 90 federal agents who went into his Diddy's Florida home there on Star Island. Took a lot of pictures, and he spent some considerable time on the stand showing all of the pictures of how Diddy was living. And here's what they did. Here is what the special agent in charge of the big raid in Florida, here's what they showed. They showed a whole bunch of baby oil, whole bunch of bottles of lubricant, some drugs, I think, maybe. I don't even know. That's how uneventful this was. Some drugs, sex toys. Showed a lot of sex toys, a lot of dildos, a lot of sex toys. They showed some red. For some reason, they were very focused on some red, like big pump shoes, like stripper heels. They were focused on those. Like, oh, we found stripper heels. Look, I'm sure any house Diddy's in is lousy with strippers. So why is that a big deal? Yeah, the suggestion is, look at all of these debauched things. They showed some guns. But there isn't, are there like big federal gun charges against him? Or, so why are they showing all these things? Nothing that I just told you is illegal. Baby oil? They're showing that shit because they're hoping that we see it and then we take the next leap in our minds. Oh, I wonder what he was doing with that. Sex toys? Look, it's well established now here on day 8 that Diddy is a perv. Okay, sex toys. Not illegal. Not illegal. And guns? I'm pretty sure everything having to do with guns is legal in this country. He wasn't taken in on having a sawed off or something. I don't know, right? So they're just showing guns? Are they legal? Like, did he have them legally? Oh, yeah, he had them legally. Well, then what the fuck is showing guns for? Why don't you show me his couch and his microwave, too? What is the point? I don't understand what's happening here. I say this every single day. We are now 8 days in, and the prosecution is failing on every level to show that this guy is what they're trying to claim he is, which is some international sex trafficking criminal who needs to spend the rest of his life in jail. What they have done very effectively is show us that Diddy's a fucking weirdo. He's a weirdo creep. He's not cool. As someone who I quote keep quoting said, what we are watching is the ritualistic humiliation of this guy by the state. I don't know. So many of us, we just love to see the downfall of celebrity. So we're like, God, it's cool. He's got sex toys. Well, yeah, but to what end? Is he going to get convicted? I don't think so. So far, I'm just not seeing it. I am not seeing the prosecution making its case. And once again, I will say that it appears to me that the prosecution has overcharged Diddy. All right. So here's one of the pictures that we did see. I wanted to get back to this. Apparently, and again, what is the point of this? Why did they go out of their way? Why did Special Agent Gerard Gannon go out of his way to make sure that the jury saw these pictures? Apparently in Diddy's master bedroom or bathroom, on the mirror, Diddy had scrawled some motivational phrases. Now, they're incredibly embarrassing. they're like, they're Stuart Smalley shit. Remember Stuart Smalley from SNL? You're good enough. People like you. It's stuff like that. There's no reason to include that to show to the jury unless you're trying to humiliate the guy. You're trying to make the guy embarrassed. Diddy had handwritten hype messages on his bathroom mirror at his Miami mansion. Things like, "You are a legend," or "You're an icon," or "You can do anything you want." You know what I mean? It's kind of embarrassing because it's like, oh, cringe. Oh, you're a cringe, ego, weirdo, insecure, all molded into one bouillabaisse of unnecessary jerk. You are a legend. You don't say that about yourself. Well, he did. So anyway, there is no reason for the special agent of the FBI, special agent in charge of this. There's no reason for him to do that other than to humiliate the guy. And it's funny, and I'm all for it. And ha, Diddy. You seem so cool all those years. I bet you thought I was a loser. You didn't even think of me. You know what I mean? He doesn't know me. But that's why we're okay with it. Because we see this guy that was on top. Look at them women. Look at them popping bottles and making it rain. You know, we looked at that. And now he's on his way down, and we're going, ha. I get it. But he ain't no international sex trafficker. I have seen nothing that supports that. Let's see. I mentioned that Judge Subramanian was making some joke because yesterday he's cracking wise about the air conditioning. Apparently it was too cold in there. Today, by all accounts, it seems to have been better. Judge Subramanian joked with jurors about forcing them to listen to music or elevator music during sidebars after a series of long private discussions he'd had with prosecutors. See, here's what happens during sidebars when the Your Honor, may we approach? You know, we've all seen that during sidebars and stuff. They play white noise. They through speakers in front of the jury. So the jury's sitting there. They play like, you know, like ambiance noise, something. And the judge made a joke today. He's like, yeah, we're going to change that. We're going to play some music for you because I'm a corny judge. All right, there you go. All right, so that's all that we have to really tell you about what was going on in the courtroom. It was a pretty quiet day. Subramanian, he kept this thing moving. We had Special Agent Gerard Gannon on the stand to start today. He continued from yesterday. Gannon, again, all he did was he showed a bunch of pictures. And he said, I led the raid on the house down there in Florida. And oh, my God, look at all this stuff. Look, sex toys. Isn't that creepy? You should put him in jail for life because he likes sex toys. Gannon is testifying about the March 2024 raid on Combs' Miami Beach home. Jury members are also viewing images of bottles of Astroglide. Women's black and red stiletto heels and lacy negligee. So these are just some of the pictures. 2 pictures that were shown to the jury showed sex toys, including multiple dildos sitting on a shelf in a cabinet. Numerous images. So are those one-time usage for Diddy? What do you think? Because sex toys are kind of expensive, aren't they? I mean, I wouldn't know, but I'm assuming. Nah, I know they are. They're expensive. Seriously, they're expensive. Like it's like a $50 dill. It's like that's not. So a guy like Diddy, what are they, dishwasher safe? Is that a thing? Might be. Does he throw them out? Are those first, like, have they never been used? Like the ones when the cops kicked in Diddy's house and went to his little cabinet room and found his dill collection. I mean, like, are they fresh or are they, you know, these are the things I wonder. 2 pictures showed sex toys, including multiple dildos sitting on a shelf in a cabinet. Numerous images displayed gun parts, ammunition, and a handgun. I didn't see I don't see any like gun charges though like that. So I guess it's all legal. So why are you showing it to us then? What is the big deal? One photo showed parts for an AR-15 semi-automatic firearm that were found in the Bad Boy record founder's primary bedroom closet, and another picture displayed a .45 caliber bullet. So what? They were the jury was previously shown photos of bottles of lube from the raid on the hotel where Combs stayed in New York City to negotiate his surrender in September. And we covered that yesterday. His hotel room, he knew he was going to be arrested, and he still didn't get rid of the lube and shit. Oh, my God. All right, so the lube thing is getting funny. Like, in the beginning, like before this court case even started a week ago now, all of the stories about lube were funny, but I thought they were just being, you know, cartoonized, blown out of proportion. I'll be damned. This guy is really into lube. This guy really likes lube. He goes through more baby oil than anyone else. That's crazy. All right. So after Gerard stepped down after he did his little humiliation photobombing of all of the silly things that Diddy has so that the jury can make up their opinion about this guy. Then we were treated to a celebrity therapist. She was actually a forensic psychologist as well. Her name is Dawn Hughes, and she was brought on just to testify about what Cassie must have been going through because she is a celebrity therapist. Famous, we should note. She testified for Amber Heard back in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. Remember that one where she pooped on the bed? That was a good one. We remember that. Sorry, Amber. We are never forgetting that. That's you. So Dawn Hughes, she got up and basically what she did was she explained the psychology of somebody like Cassie and why she would stay in a relationship that was pretty much abusive from beginning to end. She didn't know Cassie. She has never interviewed Cassie. I guess they call it like a blind testimony. She's, as far as being a doctor, she is not speaking to Cassie's specific situation. She's never interviewed Cassie. She's never interviewed Diddy. They just brought her out there so that she could teach us all, like one of those, here's one to grow on, just kind of teach us all again why women stay in these abusive relationships. Just putting that out there. So she was a big nothing. And, she didn't take up too much time. Again, the thing that took up the most time tonight was the sidebars. It was all these super secret, quiet, Your Honor, may I approach kind of moments that really why we don't have a whole bunch to report about day 8 here in the trial. But again, I'm happy about that because that means the Judge Subramanian is running a tight ship. After Dawn Hughes, celebrity therapist and forensic psychologist, after she took the stand and explained to us all about why Cassie stayed, then we were treated to the second Diddy employee in as many days. Yesterday, remember we had his personal assistant? Remember that guy? I was like, geez, this is not what I assume a Diddy personal assistant would look like. He looked more like a driver's ed teacher. He looked like a high school driver's ed teacher. He doesn't look like he's rolling around with like Diddy and the Bad Boy Records crew. He looks like he's teaching your daughter how to drive. That was the guy yesterday. So we got another guy. We got another guy who acted as a personal assistant to Diddy. His name was George Kaplan. And guess what? He looks like a high school math teacher. He does not look like what I would expect. You tell me, like, okay, right now, Pugs, close your eyes. Conjure up an image of what Diddy's personal assistant looks like. Here's what I'd say. He male, female, non-binary? And they'd be like, oh, he's a male. I'm like, okay, he's a gay guy. That's like right away. I think of like a gay black guy with sweaters and he does things with his hair and he's very gay. That's just what I think Diddy's personal assistant would be. Again, not like a youth pastor looking dude. It looks like I don't know, whatever. So George Kaplan takes the stand. He's another one of these, driver's ed looking teachers who somehow finds their way into Diddy's universe. Diddy's former employee, George Kaplan, takes the witness stand. Now, here's the interesting thing about George Kaplan taking the witness stand. We hadn't heard his name mentioned before. Of course, there's a lot of witnesses who will be taking the stand who we haven't heard mentioned. George Kaplan was not mentioned before because, as it turns out, he's got an immunity deal with the feds. That's right. So, so he signed a deal. He was going to take the 5th. He apparently, when they first approached him about coming and testifying in this case about, Diddy and all the stuff that he's doing, he said, I can't do that because I would have to admit to some illegal things. I'm going to take the 5th. And they said, that won't do. We need you on record. So they granted him full immunity. Okay. So former Diddy employee George Kaplan takes the stand after getting full immunity from the feds. It says here, earlier during brief questioning outside of the jury's presence, Kaplan said that he'd agreed to testify since prosecutors offered him the immunity. He was previously planning to plead the 5th in order to protect himself from incrimination. Sean Diddy Combs' former employee George Kaplan has been answering questions very directly all afternoon long. He's openly laid out, what's it say here? He's laid out long work hours and he's also mentioned monthly threats. So he got up there and he's like, yeah, I'm always getting threatened for my job. So I was, I've worked under that. Well, I guess, just because I've experienced that doesn't mean it's right. It is normalized for me to work for a boss who's like, I'm going to fire you. I mean, I don't know. Kaplan said that he worked under someone named Christina Koram and primarily worked out of Combs' Los Angeles residence. Said he put in about 80 to 100 hours a week and he made $125,000 a year. All right, that's pretty good money. He recalled one time when Combs became extremely angry with him because he bought 2 half gallons of water instead of the gallon of water that Combs had asked for. He threatened my job. I mean, really? This is what you mean? He was bad. He sent me to the store. He wanted a gallon of water, and I didn't see a gallon, so I only got 2 half gallons, and I brought him back, and he was like, no, I told you. Come on, man. Yes, that's a prima donna Hollywood asshole, of course. But that doesn't get you life in present. Doesn't get it for you. I'm sorry. Jesus, they are just not. Let's see here. Honestly, guys, that's it. That's it. George Kaplan. I mean, after all the delays today with sidebars, the nonsense about showing pictures for 2 hours to the jury, that's it. That's all we got today. Tomorrow, we do expect when court resumes, George Kaplan will take the stand again. And they'll tell more horrifying stories about the time he didn't come back with a gallon of water, but instead came back with 2 half gallons and Diddy yelled at him. So we'll have that to look forward to. Also, again, remember, we've been promised that tomorrow we'll bring us Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi is going to be some pretty electric testimony if all of the things that we've heard about his relationship with Cassie and his relationship with Diddy, if even half of those things are true, tomorrow will be a can't-miss day. That'll be Day 9 tomorrow. All right, folks, thank you so much. I am Pugs Moran. Once again, let me remind you, check out my daily show, The Rant, hot topics, current events, lifestyle talk. Just me talking about the world. Chat room. We got a fun chat room. Come join it. Mix it up. That's every day right here on Radio Misfits. Or you can follow me by just going to Pugs Moran. Put it in the Google box, Pugs Moran. You'll see a Twitter option. You'll see Facebook. Follow me on those things. We have fun. And join me each and every night right here on RadioMisfits.com for Diddy or Didn't He. Have a great night, folks.